So I'm reading this book called The Little Life, and I'm actually hooked. I like to read. Hello. I like to read the book on the weekends. It just gives me something, to get away, take an hour or so, read and just enjoy. But today when I was reading, there's a section about this one character and his trauma and what he's gone through, and he's speaking to his social worker who's trying to get him to speak about the trauma that he went through as a child and his experience. And obviously he doesn't want to talk about it. He deflects, and every time she tries to bring it up, he changes the subject. But the reason why I'm speaking about it is that she said something, that the social worker said something, and she said something like, you need to talk about what happened to you so that it's easy for you to talk about it. The longer you keep it in, the harder it's going to be for you to talk about. And it got me thinking, like, are we trapping ourselves in our memories, in our pasts, and not allowing ourselves to heal? And what does the healing journey look like? Because obviously it does look different for everybody. But when I read that, it got me thinking, like, what is it that I'm doing, or what is it that I've done in my life that has trapped me in my memories? So whether I'm not talking about it, or whether I'm deflecting, or whether I am pretending as if something didn't happen or didn't exist. And we all know that just because you don't speak about it doesn't mean that you don't think about it. And in those moments that you do happen to think about the things that happen to you, how do you then remove yourself from that thought? And how do you then continue to experience life if you allow yourself to be trapped in whatever that emotion or whatever that experience was? So some of us obviously journal, and some of us obviously talk to other people. But those who don't talk, how do you deal with your experience, your trauma? How do you live in the existence of it? How do you experience your life not having discussed or spoken about the things that happened to you? How do you move on? Do you speak to yourself? Do you how do you experience life in the existence of your trauma? So that's where I am today, and I'm just thinking, how do you exist in pain, in trauma, in your experiences, and how are you moving forward or letting yourself move forward? Do you let your brain block it out? Do you block it out? Do you pretend like it doesn't exist? Because it exists. And in me saying that, I'm saying that to myself too. So I think it's very important to face the things that have happened to you. And sometimes, you would pick one person, and that person you tell your secrets to, and then you never speak about it again. But is that the way to go? Or are we just all living in the matrix?